go, boys.
Let's get into this one then. Group B first game. SK, you're going to be taking on the Ninjas in pajamas. It's a game that I'm sure you guys will remember if you've been following Counter-Strike in the last, well, say month. We did, of course, venture over to the Bay Area. San Francisco is where it all went down in the Oakland Oracle Arena. A best of 5 that I'm sure the Ninjas and indeed SK will not forget in a hurry. You guys too. And our analysts, we do have Chad Sponge Birchall and Jacob Pimp Vinegar. And this is an intriguing matchup because the Ninjas in pajamas, as you can see behind us, bested SK in a best of 5. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, the semi-final where they went head-to-head, it was
3.
Yeah,
I appreciate that though.
I tried not to say.
No, that's cool. I appreciate that.
Sorry, I did.
They did play a best of 5.
Yeah, and they won each other's maps, right? They won each other's map picks,
right.
which was early on there. But one of the most impressive things was the way that SK versus NIP unfolded on Inferno, and NIP took full advantage of that B bomb site, which has been a weakness for SK time and time again. They did it through some magnificent executes, Alex.
You got something for us, Chad?
Well, we got a nice little video that Rushley has prepped for us.
Okay.
Lovely observer, Rushley.
Yeah, well, let's bring that up. So this is basically going to be a little example of where NIP's some of their strengths lie, right? I mean, you look into the use of utility and some strategical depth.
So basically this here is them exploiting the B bomb site, which is a weakness of SK, and they know that when they play passive on the side, it's going to take a couple of Molotovs to push them out of position and make things swing in the favor of NIP. Now this is what you can do if you're the side of NIP, especially coming into this event with threat, getting all your T's crossed, your I's dotted. And when you see this come in, there's nothing that the SK players can do. You exploit the weakness and you exploit it well. Now, there's a few caveats to how this whole series unfolded, and one of which is Rez playing fantastically well. But you're going to see, these Molotovs coming out and displacing the players who want to sit in the back of the side, because that's how Fur and Fallen addressed it a lot of the time, right? Sitting right back in the dark corner, and that's where the most integral Molotov would go, because that's where Fallen like to play with the AWP, and you're going to see landing in. Well, there's nowhere to stand, mate. What are you going to do? You're between the flames, you push into the open, and you are dead.
Does that spread all the way by Nubox, so your only options are like be in construction, or? I
think there's a gap, right? But you're going to be standing in no man's land where you can't hide behind a pillar. You're going to cop a flash in the face. But it's just nice to see, a well-drilled NIP going up against a SK who play more of like a theory-based, chemistry-reliant Counter-Strike where they adapt on the fly. Now, as I was saying, that the caveat is that Rez had an amazing tournament, whereas thus far, Alex, if I whack open my favorite little stats page, he's in the bottom 10 players this time round. So that's a huge kick in the teeth for NIP at the moment.
Jacob, when you're on the receiving end of an execute like that, sometimes I imagine you just must feel like, all right, well, this round's over. You kind of just feel it. The Molotovs are there, you're standing in the open, you know they're coming, you're eating a flashbang. Must be quite a feeling.
So annoying, One thing is losing an aim duel, another thing is actually feeling you can't do anything about it, and that's what NIP made SK feel in that game. That's frustrating for SK. One thing is, as I said, losing a game where you feel, okay, I should have won this duel, I could have won this duel. My aim was not on point, but where you just like literally get outplayed. It doesn't happen much these days. Where Counter-Strike is, as Chad said, like a lot of teams try to play this theory-based, adapting style of Counter-Strike, whereas a few teams like NIP still are like very strat heavy, very execute heavy, and when you face a team like that, you just feel so frustrated that you can't like find an answer to it while you try to adapt.
And before we leave this kind of discussion, I do want to just kind of turn the coin and ask: is there anything that is there flaws in SK's gameplay that enables NIP to be making plays like that, executing like that?
That was Inferno specific. They've had a rough time on that ever since its reintroduction to the map pool, right? They've never really found the solution over towards that B bomb site, something they needed to address. And we're not going to see Inferno in this series. I'm 100% positive, Alex. It's the best
100%.
100%.
You've gone full Jason Moses O'Toole.
Look,
never say 100%.
I'm 100% positive.
100%. All right.
110.
Well, that's not real maths. Let's try though. Let's have a little look and bring up those vetoes and see what we end up with. You're right on that one. 100%. You can take a sigh of relief, as I'm sure so will SK, as they do remove Inferno, and it does look like we're going to be going down to Overpass. And Jacob, you seem to be going obviously. Why is that?
I think it's okay. NIP did beat SK on Overpass at Oakland. So SK must have prepared for that one. That's one of the things with NIP. When you are so strat based, when you are so execute heavy, you can only reinvent your strats and reinvent your way of playing like thus often. Whereas SK they can prepare. We saw what we saw in Oakland. You haven't had that much time to practice ever since. So you can only come with so much new. So I feel like SK going into this matchup are quite confident. Knowing what to expect from NIP.
So not only that, did SK have time to prepare, and they've lost recently, which tends to favour the team that lost upon the rematch. But also, this is the map that NRG beat NIP on. So
yeah,
I don't know. Put 2 and 2 together, it looks good for the Brazilians.
Yeah, and another caveat there is this game that they had was Forest going absolutely huge. I know that I remember just winding my memory back. It was the second half. and they force bought, and Forest went ham with the Deagle onto the A bomb site, right? And that really sprung things wide open for NIP on the second half. So it was good performances by him, Exist, and Get Right. So the old boys turn the clock back. Roll back the years.
They did, and of course the young blood do need to step up as well if they want to pick up a victory here. Guys, it actually sounds like we've run out of time already. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves ready, strapped in to watch this one. You guys can too, because your casters are at the ready. It's going to be Henry G and Sadakis to walk you through this one, and we need to see more from Rez if SK are going to fall.
I would love to have Rez back in, I guess, Oakland form. This is the Oakland rematch. It was probably the best final we casted all year, if I'm honest.
Absolutely. Rez was lights out, so was Forest, but we casted NIP yesterday, and Draken and Rez just weren't really there at all. Draken had 1 or 2 good rounds. Rez was just very, very quiet, though. The very dizzy heights he hit in Oakland, like, it was just night and day between those 2 performances. The rest of the team looked okay, but him individually, it just wasn't good enough. And going up against SK, sure, when he's in that kind of form, I think they can go toe-to-toe with them, and obviously they can beat them. But today, I'm not so sure. I do favour SK. On Overpass as well, there were very obvious issues as to why SK were losing, especially on their CD side. Remember, Fur was just relentless with that aggression. When it works and when teams aren't really used to it, it looks amazing, right? But NIP were very aware of it. Threat obviously does his homework, and they were shutting that down. It worked like 2 rounds, I think, but the rest of the half, they were just completely locking him down. They had a 5-on-4 pretty much at the beginning of every round, like towards the latter stages of it, right? I don't think that mistake will be made today. We'll see Fur go there a little bit. He'll try it a couple of times, but he won't be doing it again and again and again and again.
And again and again.
And again and again.
With the SMG inside B on Dust 2.
Exactly right. So yeah, I do favour SK here. I feel like they have learned their lesson since that Oakland affair. But still, NIP always a threat on this map. And I hope it's another deep one. I think another 16-14 definitely on the cards. Both these teams have played Optic and gone 16-14. SK obviously losing, surprisingly. NIP beat them. So in terms of form, very equal.
If Optic had won the game against NIP, they would be in a prime position to go through.
Amazing. It could have happened.
Freiburg says they're still going through.
We spoke to him last night, didn't we? We caught up with him, and he said, yeah, we should have been
a candlelit dinner. Expensive.
Yeah, about €5.
About 5. Well, it's more expensive than I usually spend on you. So by that standard, it was.
Yeah, but Freiburg's very confident, and obviously they would talk about the roles within the team changing. I don't think it's been that dramatic as everyone kind of expected. They've been going for a hybrid style. It's like double AWPs they're mainly aiming for. Alu's still using the AWP every now and then. It's not like it's just Mixwell's the AWP, right? So he still gets to show us what he's made of, and both those players capable of rifles. But ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're ready to kick off Group B for today, and it will be NIP on the T side right now. They are an XQ-based team, as the guys broke down. They'd have 2 smokes, 4 flashbangs, and the Molotov to work with. Most teams do favour towards the B side. Little P250 there for Draken to work with, and we'll see whether this works out. It looks like it'll be a fast B play here, Matt. We've got smokes going towards the mouth of the bomb site. Rez will be challenged with the booster. Will get absolutely wrecked by Coldzera, and frags being exchanged left, right, and centre. Looks like SK will have the advantage for now, but it could all turn with this frag. Not going to happen, as Exist will be taken down Fur with the flank from the connector, and now Forest left in the 3 versus 1.
They actually got the response kill immediately onto the boost, so Cold went down right away, but it was still SK that had a multiple pressured presence toward construction. It was Coldzera that may have opened. It was Taco that immediately responded. Keep in mind, yes, Force is in a 1-on-3, but he does have the bomb. They're all over toward the B site. The positioning from Fur confirmed that he couldn't have gone back through the connector, but he has considered that he might have gone back through T-spawn. It's given some space to Force, little does he know. He's already made contact, and they'll rotate back around.
Yeah, he's got the bomb now. He's just trying to sell the fact he could have gone back towards A.
Well, and Fur as well has he can't, because Fur's actually up on top of the ledge and can see through the tunnel. So no matter what, even if he crosses, Fur would see him, although he's moved that now. But he's heard him take a step, and yeah, this is about money at this point for Forest.
Yeah, get 1 kill, just trying to get the bomb down to be the main objective, but now down to 42 HP, it's very unlikely. He probably dies at this point, unless he finds an amazing shot. He's expecting to push the short pipe, but yeah, not going to be enough. Comes in for the flank and still get the fist bumps. There's always going to be good morale in the NIP camp. They're quite a cerebral team in that sense, but a fast execution, like I said, towards B is where the majority of T sides will go. Smoke towards the mouth of the bomb side. The problem is SK, aggressive of course, pushing off towards short with the boost as well. The boost is designed to protect Taco as he pushes short, right? And Coldzera will take the attention away, then Taco can push around the corner and pick up the kills where no one's essentially looking at him. That's exactly what happened. It worked out quite nicely. Fur with the fast flank as soon as he got the call of 4 players towards B, and it all fell apart. No bomb going down means we have a 4 spy in the second from NIP. CZ's, Deagles, and a scout for Draken. A boost over the smoke. This could be interesting. Does Exist can do anything with this one. P250 drops off and makes a noise, so probably going to cancel that one as Fur, surprisingly, decides to fall back. Normally gets the MP9 out in these rounds and gets stuck in.
Gets stuck in.
There's that Deagle.
In the mud.
Iconic red Deagle.
And the gloves to match.